Every project has to start somewhere, and Brothers Habet's got you covered. We're the place for professionals because we understand success is built on quality and reliability. For the do-it-yourselfers seeking quality tools and materials to bring their out-of-the-box ideas to life, our paint department offers a kaleidoscope of hues to those looking to express their unique style. And for those seeking the perfect touch of elegance for their homes, we offer a curated collection of household fixtures and furnishings that caters to every taste. But what sets Brothers Habet apart is our exceptional customer service. Our employees go above and beyond to ensure that every customer's needs are met. We're here to see you through your building journey. Visit Brothers Habet and get started today, or call or WhatsApp us for a quote. See you soon!
As motorcyclists, we know the thrill of the open road, but improper overtaking can result in severe injury or worse. It can shatter your life and dreams. It can shatter the emotions of the people you love. Or, in the best case scenario, you're left with a hefty fine. Driving recklessly is not worth it. Follow the rules of the road and stay alert. Safe overtaking leads to a smooth journey. Choose patience and safety over impatience and recklessness. It can make all the difference. A message from the Second Road Safety Project and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode 5 of Beyond Basic District Edition. Here we are in Orange Walk at Maracas Bar and Grill, who's gracefully decided to host us for this episode. I'm here with some of our guests we're going to introduce in a little bit, but I just wanted to give a big thank you to everyone who has watched the episodes of Beyond Basic so far, and we encourage you to share and like this episode to everybody you know, especially our youths, because that's the whole point of Beyond Basic, is to reach the young people. So now we're going to all introduce ourselves. We're going to give our name, age, parish, and a fun fact about yourself. I'll start. I am Tessa Habet. I am 21 years old. I am from Divine Mercy Parish in Belize City. And a fun fact about me is that I have been at Puerto Rico Media for a while, so I don't need to give any more fun facts. So we're going to start over there.
Okay. So my name is Angel Pat. I'm from La Immaculada Parish Church right here at Orange Walk. I'm 21 years old and I play for the church.
Hi, my name is Jaclyn Blanco. I am 19 years old. Fun fact about me is that I like sports and I am from the Immaculada Parish.
Hi, my name is Shajir Pech. I'm originally from Corozal, but I'm serving at the Immaculada Parish as a parochial vicar. Fun fact about me, I'm a priest.
We know that. Give us another fun fact.
I should be in mass like in an hour from now, but yeah, they're good.
That's fun.
Hi, my name is Luella. Cocom. I'm 18 years old. I'm from the Immaculada Parish, and a fun fact about me, I love all types of sports.
Hi, my name is Zain Osorio. I am 18 years old. I am from La Immaculada Parish, and fun fact about me is that I love talking. Yeah. And I am 18 years old. I mentioned that already.
You just wanted to talk more.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. Well, now we're going to get to know each other even better through our icebreaker activity. So, in our icebreaker, we have already created these fake social media profiles. The only thing is, on these profiles, our name or any sign of identification is not on them. So we filled out these little forms that has different information about ourselves, and we all put it inside of a big bowl, and we're going to shuffle it, shake it around, and everybody is going to pick one profile from the bowl, and we're going to have to guess who we think the profile belongs to. Check it before you pass it down.
I think I know how to get mine.
Okay. Everybody got a different one.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now everybody look at it, and then one by one, just write down who you think it's for. And then we'll all read it out and then say our guesses. We'll all start now. We'll start with
Me. Okay. Well, this one says that the person loves reading, listening to music, and from what I have just like met her, I believe it's her because then
Wait,
it
read
says
the other one. Read the rest of it.
it says 3 words to describe the person: loud, bubbly, and sassy. I guess it's her, right? She says her red flag is never text back. I have never texted her, so I don't know. So talks too much about celebrities. She does look like that though, like she talks about celebrities. And she posts twice a year. Yeah, she looks like she does post.
That ain't me, friend.
That's not
Alright.
her. That's me.
No way. No, well, yeah.
Okay, so my one says he or she is active, introverted, as you know. Red flag, sometimes crazy in a good way. Talks about having a bad attitude and posts once a month. I think it's Jaclyn.
Oh no.
Got it.
Okay. Hobbies: reading, camping, traveling. 3 words to describe me: quiet, shy, funny, question mark. Red flag: responsible, lol. Talks too much about traveling, posts once a year. I initially said Jaclyn, but it's not. So I'm going to say, I don't remember your name. Angel.
No, it's not me.
Okay, awkward.
Hobbies: fixing cars. 3 words to describe me: outgoing, creative, helpful. Red flag: dramatic. We know already who this is. Talks too much about cars, life, and goals. Posts never. So Zain.
Yes, that's me.
Yes, because I mean, Luella, you can be dramatic sometimes. No,
I am, but
but she doesn't fix cars.
No, she doesn't.
Wait, so you were the responsible lol?
So my one is says sports. The 3 words to describe: talented, smart, peaceful. His red flag is he's lazy. Talks about school. Posts once a year. I think it's Angel.
Yeah, it's me.
Oh my god. Well, obviously.
So this one says hobbies: drawing, baking, and cooking. 3 words to describe me: outgoing, creative, and talkative. Red flags: indecisive, talks too much about family, post once in a while. It's Luella. Yeah.
You had guessed Luella?
No, I just put Zain because it's a talkative.
Oh, that was really fun. Thank you guys for participating in the activity. Now we're going to go into our next segment where we're going to have a group discussion with just me and the youth representatives. Father is going to step aside, listen to our discussion, and then he will rejoin us afterwards. But please stick around for the rest of this episode, and thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye.
This is a message from the Belize Road Safety Initiative and Young Protege, the traffic man. We don't want nobody get knocked down, so we're bright clothes when sun go down. We don't want nobody get knocked down, so we're bright clothes when sun go down. We don't want nobody get knocked down, so we're bright clothes when sun go down. We don't want nobody get knocked down, so we're bright clothes when sun go down. If you know that you like exercise at night, it no matter if you run or you ride a bike. If you're jogging on the highway or jogging on the street, wear bright clothes so drivers can see. Reflective clothing will do too. Put light lights on your bike, don't play with your life. You could get back things, but life is not one. You could get back things, but life is not one. We don't want nobody get knocked down, so wear bright clothes when sun go down. We don't want nobody get knocked down, so wear bright clothes when sun go down. So if you're jogging at night, wear bright clothes. If you're riding at night, wear bright clothes. So if you're jogging at night, wear bright clothes. If you're riding at night, wear bright clothes. Yeah.
Get ready! This summer, the University of Belize School of Medicine is opening its doors for the qualifying exams and scholarship exam. From August 13th to August 16th, 2024, seize this opportunity to join our medical program and secure your future. Whether you aim to qualify for our renowned medical school or earn a scholarship, this is your chance to shine. Prepare yourself, study hard, and take the first step towards an exceptional medical career. The exams will be held at the UB Central campus in Belmopan with a registration cost of just $300. Don't miss out. Mark your calendars and prepare for the University of Belize School of Medicine qualifying exams and scholarship exam. For more information, visit our website. See you there.
And we're back. So here I am with our youth representatives here in Orange Walk at Maracas Bar and Grill. And we're going to talk about our topic for this episode, which is marriage. Now you might be asking, why are we, people who are all under the age of 22, talking about marriage? Well, I just think that anybody who is alive can tell that these days marriage has been declining, especially in our generation. People aren't getting married anymore. You can ask any priest the amount of marriages they celebrate now versus like a couple years ago, a couple decades ago. People just aren't getting married, and we talk a lot about vocations. Why don't we have priests? Why don't we have sisters? And the answer is we don't have strong family units raising people to want to have these vocations. So if we're going to talk about religious vocations, we also have to talk about marriage and promoting healthy marriage and promoting the family unit in our society. So I just want to talk to these young people about their perspectives on the sacrament of marriage and also encourage other people who are watching to see it for what it is. So I'm going to start with the question of, what do you think the point of marriage is? Why do we have marriage? Why do two people get married? Why don't we just like live together as boyfriend and girlfriend? Why do you have to have this sacrament of marriage? Why is it so important?
Well, I believe that the importance of marriage is because it is a vocation, just like the priesthood and being a holy sister as well. So I believe that it is very important for someone to either choose a vocation. For example, you could be single, you could be married, etc. And also I believe that it is also important because as the Bible says, two persons will join to form one.
Thank you.
So my point of view of marriage is that the two of them are having comfort, and as I heard in a homily of a sister, that she said once that you're two married and then you're in a triangle, God in the middle and you both at the bottom, and I feel that you need to be comfortable with the person you want.
Well, my point in marriage is that when two persons decide to close the bond they have, it's a forever bond. I take an example like my parents. Their marriage is legitimate. They show that they love each other and they're very comfortable with each other and they talk things through with each other. And a very wise person told me that if you elope, you're living in sin. So for you to come into marriage, well, you're finding God and you just want to be whole and just share that love with each other.
Well, you see, in everything we must have authority, right? So if there was no authority in something, then everything would just be without any sort of like direction. And I see marriage as something where you put God as your authority and He oversees your marriage, your bond, right? Because whenever you get married with somebody, it's no longer only two souls, it is one soul getting together into one flesh. and then you get to share each other's experiences, your worries, and where is it that we want to take this marriage to? What are the goals? And by goals, we are not necessarily like referring to material goals. We might be referring to goals, spiritual goals, right? So are we going to raise our children into the church, or are we just going to lead them into the society, right? So that is the way I see, that is my point as to why I think that marriage is very important as well, right?
Well, can I add this?
Yeah.
Marriage as well, like he said, is a bond, but it's also where you take a vow that you are gonna be with that partner in good and bad, in health and sickness, in the worst case, but that partner is gonna be your person forever because you wanna share something special with that person. So you're supposed to depend on each other and be for each other until you die, just like you vowed to be.
And you want someone to commit to you and make that promise, not just, be a temporary. We don't want temporary love, right? And so I think that, thank you all for sharing that. I think those are very, very good answers. And we are making the point that God is in the middle of the marriage. And my mom always tells me that being with somebody else, like living with someone else and being in like that close relationship with someone else is already hard. So why not just have God bless it and take all the graces that is available to you when you have to be in that kind of relationship. But also, if you think about when you are like just living your life, but then you have to end up being in a close relationship with someone else, all of your problems, all of your shortcomings and your red flags and your toxic traits come out. And so in that marital relationship is supposed to, the aim is so that you become purified, that you become a saint. That's the whole point, is so that one day you can be going to heaven. And the way that marriage purifies that is when you have to give of yourself to this other person and you have to live selflessly for someone else. And also when you have children, it pushes you in another way and it causes you to be a better person. But if you stay, like single for the rest of your life, you don't give of yourself in that way. And that's why becoming a priest or religious is also a vocation, because you have to give of yourself in a completely different way, and God is calling you to do that. And no person is ever called to just be by themselves and just live this selfish life, that the way that the world might tell us, like, oh, don't get married. Why would you get married? Because you're gonna have a lot of pain. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be frustrating. But that's not the point of life. Isn't to just be comfortable. It's to be better. It's to be a saint. It's to one day get to the point where you are holy and you are selfless and you are, full of virtue. And that's why the church emphasizes marriage as a sacrament. Now I want to ask you, why do you think that the number of marriages has declined in recent years?
Well, in my point of view, I believe that marriages has declined because, for example, I think that marriage is being demonstrated in a different way in social media, for example on TikTok or Instagram. And I believe our youth sees it, and then that's where they get the bad perspective of what marriage is. They're afraid of being committed to someone, and they believe that if they get married, then I won't be able to go to parties and etc. That's
selfishness.
Yeah.
So for me, the few marriages are because the people nowadays are so scared of marriage, and because also young people or many adults want to live life.
From my point of view, that marriages is increasing is because tradition. People aren't taking, well, not people, the young adults aren't taking marriage seriously. They don't follow back in the days traditions. Like my mom growing up, she had to have her fiance or soon-to-be fiance ask for her hand to her parents. Nowadays, the youth just pop out of nowhere and be like, "Oh, mom, this is my boyfriend. This is my husband. We're married." Yeah, and my mom brought me up that, oh, you want to have a boyfriend? Do it this way. And so now that you look at it, youths don't follow that anymore. They started eloping, and well, their parents and the traditions that they've been or tried to be raised up with aren't existing anymore. And like Angel said, they take the idea of what social media or society poses to what relationship or marriage is, and they just say, okay, well, I'm happy, you know. What if I want to not have a boyfriend or a husband, and I'm going to just divorce them and leave them there because I want to live single life, I want to clubbing and partying. I don't want him anymore. I just don't. He keeps me controlled, you know? Yeah. So that's to me the point of view that marriage isn't happening anymore.
Well, the way I see this is that sometimes people, they see marriage, of course, like something like it's like you have to obey your husband, you have to obey your wife. But I believe that this has to be mutual, because if you, at the time of marriage, you promise to be loyal to that person, then you have to know that at the time that you are getting married, you have to forget about your past life. In other words, you will no longer just say, okay, I'm going to party today. But instead you have to say, oh, can I go? Or, I'm not saying that partying is something to do, right? But what if you want to do it? And that is why people are no longer getting married, because people are afraid of that
trust.
That you have to promise God. Because then another thing that I wanted to say is that whenever you get married, you feel that God is going to help you. But if you pray to God and you ask God for the best for your marriage, everything is going to be good. But if you do not ask God and then you just go about and, okay, I got married, we're not going to church again. So our marriage that's it. We made the promise in church, but we're not going to continue going to church. So then that's why marriages, they're no longer strong like before. Because I go to church and I see it. You could barely see couples going to church right now. Majority of people that attend churches are old people. People that they have had their faith from way back then. And then right now you could barely see a youngster in church. Yeah.
But you'll see Zain in church.
Yeah, I'm always in church.
That's awesome. No, yeah, I think those are all valid points, and I also think that there's so many reasons, you know, why marriage is declining that we can't even cover. That would have to be a whole, like, long episode for that to be completely discussed. But there's all of those reasons, and I think that in reality, you know, young people are being lied to, because there's a lot of people that maybe want to get married. It's not that, you know, some people don't want to get married. I think a lot of people want to get married. They just don't ever get there because they think, oh, like one day if I just like mess around right now and kind of fool around while I'm young, then I'll find somebody when I'm older, and, you know, all of that. But I think it was Father Shajir that told me to watch this documentary. Do you remember this documentary? The one unplanned childlessness? Yeah, we can talk about that later. But there's this documentary that have you seen it?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay. No. So it's about, I think it was Jordan Peterson. Was it him? Yes, Jordan Peterson. He had this documentary, and he was talking about how, like, in a lot of places, and I mean in America and our like secular world, that a lot of people fall into the trap where, and especially women, where we like think, oh, like right now I can just like mess around. I'm going to, you know, do everything that I want to do, and I'm going to be, you know, just live this like selfish life. And then we end up growing up and wanting, oh wait, I do want a husband and I do want kids. But then at that point you are competing with, like, the guys are looking at girls younger than you, and then you're competing with those girls, and then you're like, wait, but I want kids. And then you know, like with us, our fertility is like it's more like delicate than with men, and so then you like, oh wait, I want kids now. But then when you were younger, you weren't thinking about you building a future and building a life. You were just thinking about, you know, yourself. And there's all of that, and then secular society is feeding you these narratives, when back in the day people were getting married at 20 and they were happy, you know. And so it's like, I mean, I'm not saying get married tomorrow, guys. No.
So I guess that's basically promiscuity, right? Where
yeah, promiscuity, you know, that just sleeping around. And I think that a lot of like feminism took the approach that, oh, if back in the day, if men were being promiscuous, instead of saying let's hold men accountable and tell them to stop being promiscuous, we said, oh,
why can't we?
yeah, let's bring the rest of us too. And we thought that was a great idea. And I'm here to tell you was not a great idea. Because now we have fathers not in the homes because they don't think they need responsibility. We have mothers not caring for the kids because, you know, they decided that they weren't thinking when they started dating, they weren't thinking about whether or not their boyfriend was going to be a good father. And then like all of these things, you know, and it's a big pitfall, and then everybody is unhappy. The men are lonely and sad and not living up to responsibility. The women are in the same boat, and it's just this, when we look at society, that's what it is. And I think that we need to encourage, you know, each other. And like I said, this is a whole topic, you know, we could talk about all of these different pitfalls that people can fall into, and the making marriage not sacred anymore doesn't mean anything. People say it's just a piece of paper, people leave when they want, like all those things.
Tessa, I would just like to add a little bit more, right?
Go on.
So here in Orange Walk, there is this MPP formation. That's a shortcut. It's marriage preparation program. And these guys, well, they're not guys, they're old people already. They are old, young, but they have experience already in marriage. And my parents are part of the formation, MPP formation. And I see that they do a lot, you know. They always go around sometimes. Well, I am not sure when is the time. I think it's like in July or June. That is the family month. And then they go all around the villages in Orange Walk, and they go ahead and they say, you know what, this is what's supposed to be done in a family if you want to have a healthy family, okay? And then they also go ahead and they start encouraging people to get married, because that at the end of the day, that is their goal, right? And I see that they do a lot and try to get people to get married, but people, they are refusing to do it. And whenever they want to do it, they want to skip the process. They don't want to take the child as what is known here in Orange Walk, right? So I believe this, right? So in order for something to be successful, you must go through the process. And what's the process in this? The process is that you go and you attend all the talks that the MPP formation has to give you, because they prepare you for what is to come in your life. It doesn't mean that, okay, these people, they know everything, because they're humans. They're just like any other person, but they have experience, and they can tell you based on what the church and God says, right? So I just wanted to big up the MPP family. I know they will be watching me, right?
I think that's an awesome point about preparation, because I think another reason why marriages fail too is that people are no longer equipped to live marriage, because they're no longer equipped to self-sacrifice, you know? And so we grow up, like back in the day, children were all raised with values and with virtue, and they were raised to be responsible. And now they're being raised by social media. We're being raised by the streets. We're being raised by TV. And so now we don't have the same values anymore. So not only is it hard for us to, when we get married, to be married, because we're like, oh my gosh, I never knew how to like care about another person before in this way. And also it's hard to find somebody that's good, because we're no longer being raised with good values. And so then it's like, oh my gosh, now I have to go mining in a diamond field because I can't find somebody that's, you know.
Yeah, and then that's the funny part, right? Because then you try to do everything first. Let's say you get into a relationship, not necessarily a relationship sometimes, but you're getting to know somebody, and you try to like give them all attention on how you would like the other person to treat you back. And then at the end of the day, you always, because this is how it works, right? In these days, it's hard to find someone in society that will have the same mentality as you, the way how you know God, right? Because majority of people, they say that they know God and they don't know God, right? So you come and you try to talk to them about God, you tell them, and then you could see the difference. You could see the difference that they're like, okay, I'm not here to talk about God. Okay, I'm here to talk about society, about what everybody expects you to do in modern times. And then if it takes me to stay single forever, I would do it until I find somebody that I could say, wow, I admire this person because this person has my mentality, and I see that person fit for me and will help me to grow spiritually. Because I could grow in a way like in a material way with anybody, right? I could do it, but with spiritual, it's different. It's different.
So ladies, if anybody fits the profile, we have Zain.
Probably this comes back to the same problem, people not getting married, right? You see, whenever let's say a female doesn't go with a father figure, this is how I see it. If you don't have a father figure, then you will go about the world, because a father figure is very important in a family. Why? Because the father figure most of the time is the one that sets the rules, set the pace, right, for the family. So okay, and then a father is very important to give the affection, because when you are growing up, you need both your father's attention and your mother's attention. And so if you didn't get your father's attention, then what would happen? When you're getting young, you're getting attracted to a lot of males, right? And that's natural. But then you will try to be finding that attention that you didn't get from when you were young in other persons that are not your dad.
And you don't know how to be treated by a guy.
That's right.
The first person will look upon you and say, "Oh, hi, pretty girl." Then you're like, "Oh my gosh,
I
she's the one."
contradict what he says, because I have my dad. I'm a daddy's girl, and I'm gonna tell you, I try to find my dad in another guy. Like I see my parents' love, and I'm like, man, I want that. And I try like a guy would come and be like, "Oh, like you're nice and pretty." I'm like, I've heard that. Like, give me something different. Like my dad's like, "Oh, it's an honor for me to go on a date with your mom," and I'm like, I want that. I want the guy to be like dying for me. Like, it's a blessing for me to see you every day. It's like, it's una bendición. And the girl like, "Oh, you're beautiful. You know, you look nice." And I'm like, yeah, I know that. I tell myself every day.
Yeah, and that's the important thing, because if you have a father that tells you every day that you're beautiful, if a guy comes and tells you you're beautiful, like, okay, and
okay,
it doesn't. Yeah. But if a woman has never, like a girl growing up, never heard her father tell her that she's beautiful, then she will, grow up, and the first guy, she'll be like, oh my gosh, like this is this great thing. She won't evaluate, is he a good person? Will he be a good father for my children? Will he be a good husband? She won't think about those things. But even, a lot of people don't have fathers, and that's something that if the father has gone away or something like that, then, you can't change that. But there's other, men that can come into your life, like spiritual fathers, our priests. They do their best to be that yes, father, I hope you do. They do their best to have that role in their life, and also, like, you have uncles, you have other men who are supposed to do that. So if we have, like men who are watching right now who have someone in your life who has never had that kind of father figure role, for them, don't hesitate. We need this, as men and women, both of us, we need this to thrive in our, we need the fatherhood, and that's something that's so lacking nowadays. It's so lacking, and that's a wound that a lot of people have. But this side has been quiet. Do you have any comments?
No, I'm just enjoying the conversation.
Enjoying listening. Yes, that's awesome. We have a good balance. We have the ones who like to listen and the one that like to express themselves. That's awesome. I like this crew. I want to stay. Can I stay in Orange Walk?
Yes.
That's nice. Okay, well, if we don't have anything else to say in this segment, this has been such good conversation. But now we're going to spice it up and bring Father into the conversation. We're going to ask him questions, and he can also ask us questions about the topic. But yeah, so it's going to get a lot more interesting when Father comes into the mix. So we'll see you very soon. Please stick around.
Castile's Hardware, your trusted source for quality. Looking for unbeatable deals on hardware and home essentials? Head over to Castile's Hardware today. We've got competitive prices on PVC pipes SCH 40 sizes from 1/2 to 8 inches, SCH 26 sizes from 1 1/4 to 4 inches, up to 20% off on select sizes. And that's not all. Don't miss out on our flash sale featuring the Whirlpool Top Freezer Refrigerator with optional ice maker, freezer temperature controls, dairy bin, and incandescent lighting, all for just $1,295. We also have a special promotion on the Whirlpool washing machine. Get it now for just $1,195. Enjoy multiple wash temperatures, a heavy-duty cycle, and progress monitoring features. Plus, we're offering 50% off Valspar Integrity paints. Choose from a wide range of no-compromise colors for your home, available in gallons and buckets. Visit Castillo's Hardware today for these amazing deals and more. We are located at Pescador Drive, San Pedro Town, Belize. Contact us at 226-2302 or 614-6632. Email cast.hardware@btl.net. These offers are valid while supplies last. Terms and conditions apply. Castillo's Hardware, your trusted source for quality.
And we're back at Maracas Bar and Grill filming our 5th episode of this season of Beyond Basic. We've had so much fun so far. We've just been laughing in between the breaks. It's been awesome. But Father has come back to join us, and we're going to have the opportunity to ask him any questions that we have on the topic of marriage, and he can also ask us questions if he has any, if he wants to hear a young person's perspective. So yeah, whoever wants to start.
Okay, I have a question. Okay, so let's say you've eloped for so many years and you want to find God finally. Would that still be like a good marriage? Living.
Oh, come on. Well, whenever you live in common law, most of the time, you are not committed. So you live in a sense, it's like if something goes wrong, I can always leave, and that's it. And that's a false love that like living in common law gives, like, because you are there but not really. And I feel that whenever you want to involve God, that's really beautiful. That's a moment, I think, in which you kind of realize the importance of love, the importance of being with this person, and the importance of involving God in this decision you've made in your life. And it's good. And I'm glad when people do that. Yes, God gives His blessing. If God has sent you this person and you have out of your free will accepted this person, it's really beautiful to involve him and to let him be part of this. And that's most of the weddings nowadays. Most of the weddings, people have lived in a common law relationship before getting married for several years. Some have kids. I've had weddings in which they had grandchildren, and now they're trying to get close to God and that. But that shouldn't be the case then. Most people, whenever you're getting to know someone, like, you date to marry, you date to make a commitment with God, with this person. It's not something for a little time. It's not something just for a while. It's not something just to see how things are. People are not experiments. We shouldn't be experimenting with people to see how this works. So I feel like whenever you love someone and whenever you know that God has been part of this decision of yours of in free will accepting this person, and you want to love this person, like, you are looking at wanting this person to be holy. And that's really beautiful, and that's the most important gift and the most precious gift you can give someone out of love, wanting the holiness of the other. St. Thomas Aquinas defines love as wanting the good of the other. What's that good? God. So yeah, there is a way to redeem that that sinful way of living, yes, God blesses them. God gives them the graces whenever they allow God to work in them, with them.
Do you think that dating helped you to be able to now live out your priesthood? Like, do you think that you gained things from dating that now are helping your priesthood?
Yes. Whenever you date someone, you start to learn about others. Growing up in a family, you are in that close society, right? In which you know how I knew how my sisters behaved. I knew their personalities. But getting out there and getting to know someone who had nothing in common with me, like family-wise or personality-wise, was really a good experience, because you're exposed to the world, not in an experiment way, but like you get to know someone whom you care for. And I guess that's what I've learned from dating and from being in a relationship, caring for others, like really loving someone, wanting the best for this person. And I think that has helped me in my priesthood, in order to realize that this act of self-giving is meant to be for the other, not solely for me. Yes, I receive graces and blessings from God, and I hope I also go to heaven, but most of what love really is laying down your life for others, as how Jesus said, giving your life for others, not worrying too much about your own self, but for others. And I think that's what I've learned from dating. Yes, spending money for someone, opening doors for someone, flowers. It's a really beautiful way to express what you feel, but above all, what you desire, like something beautiful for the future.
I have a question, Father. What would be, or what is your point of view on those persons who are married, then after some years they divorce, and then they get married again, but through the court?
Okay. Well, whenever you marry through the church, there's a covenant which you involve God, and it's faithfulness. It's being with this one person until death do us part. So it's a commitment you make with God and with this person to, as I said, to make this person become holy, to lead this person to heaven. So divorce, as how Jesus said, it doesn't exist. Whenever you marry someone, you're involving God, and you have to find strength from God. Marriage is not easy, and marriages know this. Sometimes marriage is tough. They have problems. They have things they have to solve. Children, educating children is not easy either. But whenever you have that trust in God, and you know that God is blessing you and that you can receive these graces from marriage, I think you are not a coward in just like, okay, things are not working out, I'll just leave and find someone else. Like, you're not being selfish in which you're just thinking about your feelings. You now realize that you have a family, you have a wife, and feelings is not a synonym of love. Feelings is part of it, but it's not all of it. Luella has great examples of her parents, and I'm sure they're not always feeling happy and feeling joyful. There are moments in which things are tough, but you decide to love, and the marriage rights, like, it's not the priest doesn't ask you how you feel. He asks you, are you willing to love this person? So that's a very important part of marriage. So divorces most of the time happen because of that. I feel that I'm not being fulfilled, or I feel I don't love this person anymore, and we just base it on feelings, in problems, in what's going on, and we fail to realize that we have to trust God. So I say divorces is a failure in the trust of our Lord, knowing that He's there blessing us and giving us the graces we need in order to be faithful, to be fruitful, and to love this one person until death do us part.
Can you provide guidance on how to resolve problems in marriage? Because sometimes people tend to bring others in.
Well, so that's a really good question. Yes, most time problem starts in marriages because people from outside get too involved in what should be a decision made by them, the couple, with God. There's something good in reaching out to people. That's why you have your godparents in marriage, to reach out to them for counsel, for a word of advice. But that decision is made by those two people, husband and wife, with God involved. It's not a decision that others make for you. So whenever we have problems and things like that, it's good to seek for advice, for counseling, for someone to guide you back on track, making you realize that this is not, it was not meant to be easy. Jesus loved us, and how He showed His love for us was not easy. He took a cross upon His shoulders, walked up this hill, and was nailed on the cross for us. And that's the greatest way to show love to someone else. Love can be painful, but we lay down our lives for those whom we love, and that's what marriage is all about. There is this Ephesians, St. Paul to the Ephesians, whenever he writes, like, women, be subordinate, like submit to your husbands. A lot of marriages don't want to use that reading for their wedding, because it's like Paul is being a little misogynist, saying like, how will women submit to their husband? But if we keep reading St. Paul tells men, love your wife as Christ loved His church. What does that mean? Walk with this cross up this hill, be nailed for love of her. So we have it worse than here than women. Like, St. Paul invites men to do this, and women's submission under this mission of, what's the mission? Raising a family with God, walking together to heaven. So the man is that one who leads to this mission, to this goal, which is God Himself. And that's what St. Paul is talking about. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that these are all good questions, all good points from you, Father. Do you have anything you want to ask the guests?
Well, there is something. It's not a question, but there is something I always tell my little sisters. I have 3 younger sisters. That whenever they meet someone, they have to look for someone who, first of all, gets them close to God, close to their families, and close to their dreams and goals in life, right? That's the person you're looking for. At the moment someone keeps you away from God, from your family, from your goals, red flag. And you have to realize that you have to seek for a person who puts God first. Before the love of you, like the love He has for you, is His love, her love for God. And that's the best way to meet someone. Like, if that person loves God, then he knows how to love me. And I feel that's something we kind of lack among our young people. Because where are we looking for dating partners? Clubs, bars. We rarely find someone who says, I met my wife, I met my husband in church. So, yeah.
No.
Yeah, right?
What if it's the other way around?
What?
What if it's the other way around?
What do you mean?
Like, the guy is into church and everything and trying to get his girlfriend to get closer to the church and God.
That is true. Go ahead.
Well, that can happen, right? But there has to be you have to see that there is a desire for this person to want to get close to God. If there is no desire to get close to God, if all you do in your dating and whenever you go out for dinner is talking about religion and he's just trashing your religion, your relationship with God, then no, that's not it. That's not the place. There has to be an openness. Like, God does not force himself into the lives of others. And as couples, you cannot force God into the life of this person who you want to date. There has to be an openness of this person to allow God to work in him, in her. And that can be a very good starting point. But there has to be an openness.
Anyways, this was a lot of fun. We're going to say goodbye to our youth guests for this episode, and just I thank you guys so much for coming and for being a part of the episode. This is a lot of fun. Now we're gonna close off this segment, and afterwards I'm gonna have a conversation with Father. So don't go anywhere. But for now, we're gonna say goodbye to our guests and just. Yeah, do you have any words you want to say to the audience? Any shout outs? Thank you,
my fans. No,
I knew he was funny.
Bye.
Thank you, Tessa. Thank you.
Well, I thank Tessa. She is a very beautiful and funny friend that I made today. And bestie. Yes, she is almost like a bestie. Like, and if one day I met someone that can connect with me easy, also with Zain.
Yes, guys.
Yes, be careful with Zain.
What?
Thank you.
They just met.
No, guys. Also, thank you very much for watching. And yeah, I made a new friend. And Tessa, everybody's my friend. I already knew Jaclyn,
Even the waiters,
Angel, right? Even the waiters. Guys, I came here and then I was asking for Tessa, and everybody's like, "Who's Tessa?" And I'm like, "From Guadalupe, me." And they're like, "Who's Guadalupe?" And they had me everywhere. But at the end, I figured it out. Guys.
That's awesome. Okay, well, goodbye everybody. We'll see you in a little bit with my one-on-one interview with Father. Thank you so much for tuning in so far, and see you soon. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.
Every project has to start somewhere, and Brothers Habet's got you covered. We're the place for professionals because we understand success is built on quality and reliability. For the do-it-yourselfers seeking quality tools and materials to bring their out-of-the-box ideas to life, our paint department offers a kaleidoscope of hues to those looking to express their unique style. And for those seeking the perfect touch of elegance for their homes, we offer a curated collection of household fixtures and furnishings that caters to every taste. But what sets Brothers Habet apart is our exceptional customer service. Our employees go above and beyond to ensure that every customer's needs are met. We're here to see you through your building journey. Visit Brothers Habet and get started today. Or call or WhatsApp us for a quote. See you soon!
Castillo's Hardware, your trusted source for quality. Looking for unbeatable deals on hardware and home essentials? Head over to Castillo's Hardware today. We've got competitive prices on PVC pipes SCH 40 sizes from 1/2 to 8 inches, SCH 26 sizes from 1 1/4 to 4 inches, up to 20% off on select sizes. And that's not all. Don't miss out on our flash sale featuring the Whirlpool Top Freezer Refrigerator with optional ice maker, freezer temperature controls, dairy bin, and incandescent lighting, all for just $1,295. We also have a special promotion on the Whirlpool washing machine. Get it now for just $1,195. Enjoy multiple wash temperatures, a heavy-duty cycle, and progress monitoring features. Plus, we're offering 50% off Valspar Integrity paints. Choose from a wide range of no-compromise colors for your home, available in gallons and buckets. Visit Castillo's Hardware today for these amazing deals and more. We are located at Pescador Drive, San Pedro Town, Belize. Contact us at 226-2302 or 614-6632. Email cast.hardware@btl.net. These offers are valid while supplies last. Terms and conditions apply. Castillo's Hardware, your trusted source for quality.
Welcome back, everyone, to this episode of Beyond Basic. I'm here, just me and Father, and we're gonna continue talking about this topic for this episode. But if you have not seen the rest of the episode, you should definitely go back and watch. It was fun.
Yes, it was
very fun. We had some very interesting young people come on and talk to us about the topic, and we started off with an icebreaker. We went into group discussion, and then we had discussion with Father, and now it's just me and Father talking about marriage.
Yes.
So Father, did anything stick out to you in the last segment, or even the segment where it was just me and the youths, that you want to talk about, discuss further, or go deeper into?
Well, there are some things that the youth share that they expect on their future spouse. One of that is like los detalles, like the little details, flowers, little cars, a little sticky note by the mirror saying I love you, or you're the best decision I've ever made. And that's something beautiful. I think that whenever people start dating, they're filled with these beautiful ways of showing how they feel, their emotions, like letters and things like that. But whenever someone gets married, that kind of gets a little dry. Why? I don't know. And I feel like that's the moment in which you should show more of this love you have for this person, and it's very important. So especially men, sometimes as men, like emotions is not we're not that strong in emotions, but we should always remember that we have to show how we feel, like what we have chosen, like that the other person knows that they are loved. Marriage is not something like, well, you're married now, so you're mine forever and that's it. No, we have to make this person fall in love for us every single day, with our details, with how we talk, how we treat them. And I think that's something very important, and something that not just young women who want to date are looking for, but even married women. They expect this from their husbands. They expect that moment of love, even whenever everything is just even in the midst of their daily activities. It's really important to do that, and I feel that we lack that, and we lack the ability to show true love to that person we have chosen. Yeah, so something.
That's a good point, Father.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, how do you think the church has failed in promoting marriage, and how do you think that we can remedy that as a church?
Well, the church has been trying and upholds marriage as a sacrament, something very important. Even in the rite itself, it says that this is a sacrament in which from the beginning, God made man and woman to be one, and this blessing has been there ever since. It was not forfeited by the original sin, nor destroyed by the flood, like whenever God got rid of evil to start something new. Even then, marriage had a prominent place, and in the church, marriage is very important, and that's where we form families and where other vocations come from. But I feel we have failed in giving example of true love, of true marriage. Not so much the church, because we have been trying. Maybe we have lacked information in like letting people know what marriage is all about and making this connection with Jesus Christ. But we have lacked this this desire of the couples being examples to younger generations. I remember once I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and she made a very good point. She was like, I don't think I ever want to get married. And I was like, why? She's like, well, I've never have had a good example of marriage in my life. My parents are divorced, my grandparents were divorced, so why would I want to get into this and just end up like everyone else? And that's true. Like, we haven't had very good examples of marriages in our days. Now, cheating, it's easier to
cheat cell phones, messages, contraception, like now having intercourse with someone who's not your spouse doesn't have any consequences. You can use a condom or the morning after pill. All those sinful ways of hiding who we are, of just using others. And I feel that has affected a lot in giving a good example of true love and true marriage. So if people doubt that true love exists, so why would they want to get married? And we haven't had good examples. So I think that's one of the biggest parts of why young people do not want to marry. If you see marriage as a burden, then you'll be teaching that to your children. If you see marriage as something, just a contract, you'll be teaching that to your children. If you find marriage is something like just fulfilling my own selfish pleasures, that's what you'll be transmitting to your children. And who wants to get into a relationship like that? No one.
Yeah. I also want to make the point that a lot of people think that marriage is like second best, or just like not as good as like religious life, where I know I fell into that, you know, and you know this. Like I remember, and I thought that if I'm gonna love God, I have to become a religious sister, and I think that that's something that I had in myself, but also something that I think was kind of given to me, kind of promoted to me as like a kid growing up in the church. Is like, oh, so you go to church, so you're gonna be a nun, and that's not like a bad thing, you know, but it's also like not seeing marriage as a vocation. And I remember I told you, I was like, we don't have vocations in Belize, like they would need a religious sister, and you were like, yeah, can you name any good healthy marriages? Yes. And you told me, you were like, we need good marriages as much as we need religious sisters and priests, and so it is something to aspire to, and if it's a part of building up the church.
Exactly. So as I will say, and I said it in the last episode, it's like before praying for vocations, we have to pray for holy families, because that's where vocations come from families. And where do families start? In marriage. So if we don't have good marriages, if we don't have good families, we will not have good vocations. So we have to pray for good families, and we have to work in building good families, good marriages, people who love each other with true love, who invite God into their decisions. And that's the best way to find true love, like, and to motivate yourself to seek for the right person. So yeah, families before vocations. We have to pray for families.
Yeah, and even when, like, if you were to, I know, like, you to become a priest or to become like a religious, if you like get interviewed by a vocations director, they're gonna ask you like about marriage and why you don't want to get married. And if you have an unhealthy view of marriage, they shouldn't take you. They shouldn't take you. You shouldn't go into seminary. They shouldn't take you into religious life because it needs to be a sacrifice.
Exactly.
You have to give something to God. If you're like, oh well, I'm gonna be a priest because I don't want to get married, like that's disgusting. Then it's like you're not sacrificing anything for God.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's very true. And that's something was promoted at seminary. If you cannot be a good husband, then you won't be able to be a good priest. If you cannot be a good father for children, then you cannot be a good priest. And that's something very important, like, because even in priesthood and religious life, God does not take away this desire for fatherhood and motherhood from you. And God even uses these desires you have in order to bring something good to the church, for you to be a father, a sister, to be a mother, in a spiritual sense, to these people who are seeking for God, who desire God, and who are longing for Him. So I guess that's very important, and a very important point we have to make. Yes, religious life isn't about just running from marriage thinking I won't be a good husband, so well, priesthood is the only other thing. No, that's not the way vocations work.
Yeah, and I want to ask, like, do you have anything like for the young people like me or our viewers who are wanting to get married one day, like things that we can do to one day prepare ourselves to be able to like be good husbands and fathers and mothers and wives?
Yes, something that most people, like whenever I do interviews, couples have talked about everything before they get married. House, the party,
what food will be given at the day of the wedding, which day they want to get married. But something that most couples do not talk about before deciding to get married is children. How many children they want to have, what their family will look like. They have all these material goals, building a house, having a stable job, but no one talks about children. And marriage is about children. That's the point of getting married. It's not just because I love this person and that's it. No, I love this person, so this love has to be fruitful. And children are part of this fruitfulness of marriage. And if we do not speak about children, then we're not actually giving of ourselves to this person. And that's a very important question priests have to make whenever they're doing the prenuptial investigation. Like, have you talked about children? Do you want to have children? And if they say no, then we cannot marry them, because that's
fulfillment.
Yes, it goes against the nature of the sacrament itself, right? Like not wanting to have children. But yeah, I think we are starting to look at children as a burden, and that's sad, and that's not true. Children are this fulfillment of marriage, and you find joy and happiness in having them, and it even creates a better bond, a more intimate love whenever this love two persons have is fruitful. So I guess that's something I would recommend young people to think about before getting married. It's not, oh, I'll get married, but like in 10 years from now we'll talk about, no, you have to talk about children before you ever decide to get married. That's a very important part of marriage, and that's the center of it, I would say.
Yeah, I think another thing, like on the topic of children, but just I think as young people, when we date, we don't ask the right questions. When we're like, oh, he's cute, he thinks I'm pretty, he like takes me to nice restaurants, but then it's like, okay, but how does he want to live his life? Like what kind of, what in terms of like finances, like how does he view it? You know, like maybe I'm somebody who likes to, you know, live a little bit more lavishly, and he maybe is like cheap and like doesn't want to, or like stuff like that, or like how many kids does he want? Does he want kids? Or like those kinds of things you have to ask each other before you get into a committed relationship. And also like wasting time. I think as young people we waste so much time with people that don't want our good, and we end up dating a guy for like 8 years. Well, I'm gonna talk about guys because I'm a girl, but like dating a guy or a girl for like 8 years, and then you realize, oh wait, this is definitely not the person for me, and you've wasted 8 years of your life, or even 3 is a lot of years, you know, like to waste that time with somebody that maybe you could have seen if you asked the right questions that this wasn't going to work way before you were emotionally connected to this person or have this like attachment to someone. And so that kind of gauging that is very important as a young person.
It's very true. And even like with that, like even with the sexual revolution and sex just being something to pleasure myself, like we end up hurting more people than loving them.
It's a lie.
Yes, we start looking at people as objects for my pleasure, and that's very selfish and sad. And most of the people, who are affected by this are women. Like someone just playing with them for so many years just because I received from her this pleasures I want in my life, but I don't really want to commit to her. And you're wasting the life of this person, and that's selfish, and that's evil, and that's a sin. If you do not want something serious with someone, just be honest about it. Like do not play with persons, they're not objects. So I think all these things have in a sense influence in our decline in the number of marriages, in a decline on people wanting to commit to one person. Like these open relationship things, like I date you but I can be with...
There's too many different kinds of relationships.
No, exactly. Nowadays that I don't even know what they're talking about. That's not...
What about a healthy relationship? Let's just make one kind. One kind of relationship healthy, and then you marry, and then done.
Start a family. But all these things, like even we mentioned this at the beginning of the episode, the like fatherness, like that fathers are not involved in the lives of their children. I think Luella was the one who mentioned, if someone tells you beautiful, well, my dad tells me I'm beautiful every single day, so what?
Period.
Exactly. And I think dads have to realize that too, like you become an example of what your child will be looking for in the future. And if you treat your wife poorly, that's what she'll be looking for. If you cheat on your wife, then I don't know why, but most of the time people end up finding someone as their dads. They end up falling in the same cycle as they did. Why? I don't know. That's something probably we'll have to ask sociologists or psychologists. But it's sad. And it happens a lot.
Yeah, and going back to the kids' point, you know, how it's important that you want and desire children in a relationship. I think another important thing that a lot of people can forget, that is kind of a pitfall of marriage too, is that they think, oh, like we have kids, they pour everything into the kids, and they focus on that, I'm just sacrificing for my kids, and then they're not sacrificing or loving the spouse. And then the children need their spouses to love each other. Like they need that. And then what happens when the kids leave the house? Then they're left with each other and they're like, I don't know who you are.
They don't know each other, exactly.
Who are you again? Or you haven't been, all these hurts that you guys have, you've been, hurting each other, and then you don't even realize it. And then one day you're like, oh shoot, like I don't want to, this isn't working anymore. But it's because you fell into the trap of thinking, oh, if I'm sacrificing for my kids because they're the main point, then but you were never sacrificing for your spouse.
You sacrifice for all of them, for your wife, for your children. You want both of them to go to heaven. And yes, we can fall into that temptation of our marriage being just for our kids. And that's what keeps us together. If we didn't have the kids, then we wouldn't be together.
And I think you can fall in, like if you compare it to the priesthood, I think it's very clear. If you were to focus on your spiritual kids and just your spiritual kids, but you weren't to focus on
your relationship with God.
You weren't to focus on your relationship with God, which is the main focal point of it, then you would be a horrible priest. But you would say, but I'm serving them, I'm spending all of my time giving, in ministry and serving and visiting, but you never pray, then it would be so bad, and it would
we become social workers.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes a job and not a vocation.
Yeah, exactly. So well, Tessa,
this has been,
it's great talking about marriage
a great episode. Thank you so much, Father, for all of your help in putting this together, for giving us the recommendations for the young people. Thank you for agreeing to be interviewed and taking time out of your day to talk to us. And thank you to our viewers for watching the episodes. Please remember to like, comment, and follow Guadalupe Media on all our platforms. Thank you to Maracas Bar and Grill for hosting us. Thank you for all the people behind the scenes who have been coordinating this and planning everything so that we can be here. So yes, please continue to support us in this endeavor, in this mission, and see you next week for another awesome Beyond Basic episode. Have a great day. God bless.
God bless you.